Good morning. My name is James Danger, and this is another very quick video in my IVF and risks series. This one is about forging signatures. Ooh. Okay, this is a news item across my news feed this morning, and I thought I'd make a very quick video of it because I think it is important, and I have had some experience with this in the past. This article said man sues hospital in Japan after wife forges his signature but uses another man's sperm for IVF. So this is really just the news feed. I'm not making any comment. I'm only really just reposting, if you like, something which has been written elsewhere. I can't really add too much to the content, except to say a man sues the hospital after his wife allegedly forced a signature to use another man's sperm for IVF. A man in Japan has filed a lawsuit against the hospital claiming it violated his rights to decide when to have children by allowing his estranged wife to forge his signature and use another man's sperm for in vitro fertilization. He also filed a criminal complaint against his wife, who was convicted of the act. According to the Japan Times, the two have since been divorced, well, not surprising. The couple began fertility treatment in 2020 after signing a contract with the hospital for their second child. Following their separation in 2022, the wife allegedly continued treatment, forging her husband's signature and using sperm for another man, falsely claiming it was her husband's. She admitted to the pregnancy during the divorce proceedings in March 2023, and the child was born in August 23. In 2025, the wife was convicted of forgery and received an 18-month jail term suspended for 3 years. Meanwhile, the husband filed a lawsuit against the hospital, arguing that it failed to properly verify the documents despite being aware of the divorce proceedings. The hospital has requested dismissal of the case, stating there was no reason to suspect forgery. The husband's lawyer countered that the hospital should have verified the signature with the man before proceeding. So although the child is not biologically related to him, the husband reportedly allowed the baby to be listed on his family register and continues to pay child support. Well, go figure this. However, this story reminds me of a case where a man's sperm quality was very poor when produced at the clinic, but excellent when produced at home. This goes back probably 40 years. When confronted with this, they reaffirmed it was his sperm, so what could we do, even though we suspected it wasn't? He was asked to sign a form in the doctor's presence to this effect, and we all moved on. But I think it goes to illustrate the inherent risk clinics have where there's a mix-up of sperm, and now that's in the open forum, that clinics can actually make a mistake, then they're being blamed for it. But the problem is the compensation can be the millions and millions of dollars, and the reputation of a clinic can be in tatters, but there may well be other subversive actions taking place, and clinics need to think about this in their risk management. So clinics need to be aware of the possibility of the wrong sperm being used in IVF where the sample was from another male other than the partner, particularly when this has been produced at home, because a lot of clinics now, the guys produce at home and the women bring it in, right? And they're signing on behalf of their husband. So when genetically tested and found to be different, they are exposed to litigation because you can't prove it. And trying to work out what sperm was used is actually almost impossible. So should each clinic retain a frozen sample of the semen sample for backup, say for 10 years for such emergency? Probably not. But there's probably nothing wrong with putting a small drop of semen in a small vial and throwing it into storage and, for keeping it for 10 years. So you can always pull out and you can test the sample that was being used for IVF. IVF clients are now fully aware that clinics are vulnerable to errors and reputationally exposed. So I think this is just a quick thing. The aim is to bring the clinic's attention again, a exposure to vulnerability for manipulation by clients as opposed to the clinic making mistakes, which I know have probably been terrible, and I shouldn't be making this video, but I believe the clinics should need to be aware that they may be found liable for using the wrong gametes, and they may be unwitting. So, in other words, I think if a client is coming on for IVF and you don't see the husband, at least there should be the note somewhere that a nurse has contacted the husband, and if not, had written confirmation, actually had verbal confirmation that he is supporting the thing. That it would be wise if there are alarm bells ringing with the nurses that there's something going on, that this is done. The clinic needs to do it for their own well-being. So my name's James Danger. I'm an embryologist with more than 50 years experience. I'm not a medical person, and this information is not medical or legal advice, but you just need to be aware of what's going on. If you like what I'm doing, press subscribe or leave a comment. It'd actually be good to leave a comment. Tell me what you think and press like. And this is supported by my third aid online EQA program in IVF and in andrology and embryology. And always, I'd like to thank you. If you got to the end of this video, you're doing well. I'd like to thank you for your interest. And I understand IVF is a personal journey that involves the action of many techniques, ideas, and staff and people, and it helps you to understand what's going on. I hope this information is valuable to you, that may be of value. And if you like, press subscribe. And at that point, I'd like to say au revoir.